Hey guys, this is Andy McCann with CrossFit Garage Podcast, and my desire is to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. And today we're going to go down more of the mental kind of capacity in sort of this fitness area. And I guess you could say it's fitness for the long haul with your attitude kind of in there, right? So I've got a lot of new people coming into the gym, and I love it. And if we don't have new people coming in, then the gym would go away because people move, things change, right? So we lose people, we gain people. We need new people coming in. We always do. Obviously, I love having the people who've been able to stay for a long time. I ask you guys a lot of questions, and I appreciate your insights and answers, especially when you tell me things that I totally haven't even seen or have forgotten because I've just been there for too long. But anyway, so this question has come up a lot with some of the new guys, and it's the idea of like mindset around this idea of fitness. And it's not, there's a couple avenues of attack. So what we're going to go down this road is how to have a better mindset, how to look at this and say, okay, I am good enough. This works, right? So we've got some new people in the gym, and I want to say thank you for asking the questions. And I guess maybe it's because I'm around a lot more, doing more classes, that I get to hear this. But Jared, Tommy, Nina, Marlene, Aaron Dixon, interesting, Aaron, if you're listening to this, I think your wife, her mother, so your mother-in-law, works for my very first boss, Bruce Hembry. And a bunch of guys coming in the gym now know Bruce. So Tyler also works in a way for Bruce. So it's funny, in the last couple of weeks, he has come up a lot. But one of my favorite bosses of all time, him and Pete McCauley. We used to be traveling sales guys. Anyway, thank you guys for all your questions. Thank you for, even my brother Charles, thank you so much for asking stuff that people are maybe a little nervous to ask, because you look at me and you see, hey, that's just Andy. He's my brother. I've known him for 50 years I guess actually right. And you ask questions that I just wouldn't normally think that would be a question, and I love it because you look at it with a fresh perspective. And I know everyone has that question. They just may be too nervous to ask. Okay, so for all of you guys out there that are just listening and you don't actually come here, this is for you as well. When you look at your health and fitness and you're thinking, hey, I don't really want to start, or I want to have an optimal mindset, or how do I get my brain and my emotions to go along with it? This is that road, okay? Man, I love technology. I could actually just pause this podcast, go help my son out, and get back here, and you guys didn't even notice. But it's sort of the point of what I'm going to go down to. So don't try to be perfect. Just try to start. Perfect is the enemy of done. Do something, right? Okay, so this is going to work for whether you're at the gym or you're local or you're out in New Zealand listening. Start. Do something. Do anything. I tell people all the time, just walk out your door, go to the first mailbox. Tomorrow, go to the second mailbox. It's a known thing that you can adjust the way you feel by simply acting in a certain manner. So act like your friends, act like you like them. Eventually you will like them. Maybe you're not going to love them, but you will have a heart change, right? Act like you enjoy it. Act like you're into doing these things, exercise, whatever, and your feelings are going to follow that. I think another good one that we've talked about in the past is changing the framework for what you get to do. And really you could use this for anything, from I have to I get to. So, for example, Evie is 15 and she's learning to drive, and I could either say, I have to put a 15-year-old in my Ford F-150 and have this tiny girl drive this massive car down these kind of smaller roads that wind a lot, from my house to her school. I could say, I have to do this. Or I could reframe it and say, I get to be part of my daughter's life. I get to be the instructor of her driving. I get to put her in a super safe vehicle that if something goes wrong, we're going to be totally okay. So you reframe that from a have to a get to, and that really helps out. Another good one that you can use is the sticky why. A sticky why is simply a reason that is really profound to you that's going to motivate you to do whatever it is. And man, it took me years to come up with sticky whys. So a sticky motto, or the idea of our gym, is we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. So it's a who we are, and then the why, we want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. So how does that actually work? And why pick that? Well, the idea came up, there was a journey for these words, but we decided we wouldn't do things to compromise our health and fitness later on when we're 90. So therefore, but we still wanted to be health and fit now. So we wouldn't do things like shortcuts, like there's medicines you can take to lose fat, but now there's a lot of lawsuits going on with those medicines. There's drugs you can take to get bigger. And I'm just going to be okay being a not very big guy. A joke at the gym is, if you see me walking in downtown Woodstock, you're supposed to yell out, "Hey Andy, you're looking mighty big. Are you on steroids?" And I'm going to say, yes, I'm not. I'm a small guy. I've always been small, and I'm totally okay with that. No problems here. To have a sticky why is a beautiful thing. My sticky why for working out and staying healthy and fit and eating smart and doing these things daily is, I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids in soccer. Okay, does it have to be soccer? No, but it's an interesting picture. We played a lot of soccer. It could be any sport. It could be anything. It's the fact that I'm not on the sidelines and I am the coach. So I'm out there doing and being part of their life, not just sitting on the sidelines saying, "Oh yeah, go do whatever it is you're doing," cheering it on, and I'm the old guy and I can't help out. No, I'm actively involved. I am the coach. What does that look like? Well, it kind of looks like what I look like right now. And I need to keep that up. So I need to keep doing the things that I'm doing, expecting the same results. Doing the things you're doing, expecting different results is insanity, right? So if you think, well, I'll be healthy and fit later, yet you sit on the couch and you eat stupid shit, you're just never going to be fit. You have to do something. So this is part of the sticky why. So the other one is kind of an emotional impact of, so it's my kids, because your kids don't have to like you. Your kids don't have to like you once they're older. When they're younger, I get to coach them no matter what because they need volunteers and I stepped up, right? If I'm an older guy stepping up to coach other people's kids in a rec soccer league, that might look kind of creepy. While I may joke about being creepy, I'm definitely not a fan of any of that creepiness, right? So if I want my kids to be interested in me coaching them, or my kids to be interested in me coaching their kids, then we have to have a good relationship. So it's a way to wrap in words of, I want a healthy, meaningful, desirable relationship with my children and my children's children. I want them to want me to be around. I want me to want to be around. So I put those sentences together, and I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids in soccer. So that kind of paints the picture for me. It's my sticky why. Why do I show up all the time? A good one for me in the gym. Like, why do I do the things we do? The gym as a business is not very profitable. Any business might be more profitable. It's just tough. We rent out a warehouse, and then we have like 100 members. And then there's everything you have to pay for. And it's not, so if the idea is solely money, which, hey man, I get it. Without profit, there is no passion. I get it. But there is a greater good in the things you can do in the world. I could go back to sales and spend my time with people I don't really care about and selling them different things. I could sell them DWDM matrix cards. So that's for you, Tyler, if you're listening. But I don't know if I'm going to feel fulfilled. I get huge fulfillment by helping you guys. Man, I loved it today. One of the members came up and said, "Hey, I want to let you know I'm pregnant." And I'm like, that is awesome. And it was, she's out there doing the work in addition to her journey of I'm building a family and I'm doing this right now because I want to be a healthy mom for them. And so anyway, it's the individual joys and highs that I see you guys have is, it's like nothing else. I get to be part of the journey you're on. And, we talk about coaching, mentoring, and accountability. I'm in there somewhere. Some of you guys I coach, I'm not always in every class. Almost everyone I'm willing to mentor, I'm probably maybe the fourth oldest person in the gym. I think maybe Jeff and Paul have got me. And there might be somebody else. So I'm 50, almost 51 this year. But I'm one of the older guys in the gym. If you are about to do it, I've probably already done it, and I can, give you some insight into that. And accountability. We always hold people accountability. I want to hold you so accountable that I'm willing to pay my coaches to hold you accountable. So we have the committed board, and we have Danny will reach out. We also have some automated systems. So if you are struggling if you're out there in the world and you're like, I have a problem with working out, I have a problem with fitness, identify what that thing is. So it could be, we talk about this in food all the time, and it makes a little bit more sense in the food analogies. So I'm going to go down this road for a second. You might say to yourself, I want to stop snacking. It's 11 p.m. and I go to the freezer and I get my bowl of ice cream. Okay, now you need to start backing up. Why are we doing this? What is the cue, ritual, and the reward? Sometimes the cue is it's 11 p.m. Sometimes the cue is, I've been up so late, or I watched that show and they have that commercial, right? Sometimes it's the ritual of, I just like this sitting down with a bowl of ice cream watching my show, right? Could be the ritual. Or the reward, ice cream is delicious, it's cold, it's milky, it's sugary, right? You might have moose tracks, it might be something awesome inside of it as well. So what is it that you're actually looking for? And can we break that cycle of cue, ritual, reward? So if you're looking for a snack, is it really just that you need something crunchy? So do you need to eat a crunchy candy, or could you eat popcorn, right? So you need to find out what you're actually missing and desiring and see if you can add that into. So we talk about this in health and fitness a lot. What we're trying to deliver in a CrossFit gym here at the garage or any other CrossFit gym is probably going to be very similar. It's coaching, mentoring, and accountability. We're going to coach you through movements, coach you, usually it's coaching inside the gym. There's probably some coaching outside the gym. That probably revolves more around the idea of mentoring. So I have a Google Doc with y'all's yearly goals. Most of them are health and fitness. Some of them aren't, but we're not in the gym and we're talking about this. So is it coaching? Sure. Is it mentoring? Yeah, I don't know, right? So it depends on kind of where it goes. If it's outside of health and fitness, I'd kind of lean it back into mentoring if it's a life thing, right? And then there's accountability. Maybe you need accountability. Maybe you need a buddy. Maybe you need a dog. Maybe you need a group, like a 5 p.m. class to come to. I will say it has been super awesome coaching. Now it's Monday and Tuesday nights, the 4, 5, and 6 p.m. class, and seeing the same group of guys come in. I love when, so CJ has brought Nathan and Jared in, and it's hilarious to see them all come in and like start talking about the workout and what are they going to do to beat each other. I love it. Not hilarious in a bad way. It's hilarious like as in like, I love this. They're like fighting over it now. In the end, nobody really cares. It's just fun to push each other. And they've been, pulling it together to get motivated for each other. And what was it? The other day, we did the sprint, not sprints, 800 meter repeats. And that class as well as a class before. So it was Tommy. Oh, man. It was Tommy. Nathan was in that one. One of the Jareds. And, oh, man, who was the other one? Bruce. And there was one other. Anyway, they had some of the fastest times because they were heckling each other and they motivated each other, right? So it's a great mindset. Anyway, that's some accountability right there. I do know there's a story of a guy who went to the Humane Society and got himself a fat old dog, and he said, you and me are going to get in shape together. So he went down that road. He needed a partner. That's awesome. If that's what he needs, man, go find it, go do it. Okay, so at the gym, we've also been coming up with some rules, and right now, the rules that make sense to me, one, they have nothing to really do with specific working out. Rule number one is show up. And you could use that for your life, your wife, your husband, your family, your job. Show up. My dad told me when I was getting into the sales gig, he's like, Andy, here's my advice as a sales engineer. Show up. I'm like, what? What does that mean? Come to find out that he's right. Most guys don't even, they promise and they never deliver. They don't even show up to their own events or, get the quote to the customer or go actually find the answer to whatever it is, right? So showing up doesn't mean physically, it does mean physically show up to an appointment, but it also means show up to the promises you make. And that's true in the gym. Show up. I'm saying show up to the gym. Just get in here, right? I love it. Yesterday with the repeats, Stephanie came in and she said, hey, I'm going to give you 11%. I'm like, very specific. I love it. That's perfect. You're here. She had a long 2 weeks, lots of double shifts, lots of vacations. And she's like, this is all I've got. I'm like, that's perfect. She's like, I don't even want to run. I'm like, perfect. We'll get on the rower. Let's do this thing. And she rode. Did it move the needle? Maybe not specifically a lot in the fitness arena, but it did move the needle in terms of her fitness over time because she kept the habit and she had herself show up, right? So sometimes just being part of it, being there is going to give you that long trajectory of trend towards up, right? Did the 800 meter repeats move your fitness? I mean, by themselves, I don't know. But when you stack that upon everything else, yes. So it's the daily stacking of the stuff you do that really moves the needle forward. So that was rule number 1. Rule number 2 is don't do anything stupid that'll prevent you from showing up tomorrow. So it's kind of a joke in the gym. Hey, listen to your body. If your shoulder hurts, if your knee hurts or whatever, man, don't be dumb. Don't do anything stupid. Don't be a hero. Don't go RX just because there's a button to click. Be smart about what's going on inside your body. Listen to your body. Listen to the coach. It's also the idea of don't do anything stupid. Like if I don't show up for 2 weeks, I mean, that's pretty dumb, right? Or I decided to eat a bowl of ice cream. I mean, not a bowl. A bowl could be okay, right? I meant to say a box or a carton or whatever of ice cream. That's probably dumb too, right? I know in the idea of keeping people accountable, one of the things is consistency of attendance, and how do I reach that? There's a podcast where we talk all about that. Go look that one up. But consistency is the biggest thing. Number 1, show up. So am I violating my consistency? Okay, well, that's rule number 2, right? But rule number 3 is up for debate. So we've got like 10 different rule number 3s. I don't know which one I find is more important. I said, not joking, but I like this one. I think it's a real thing, is squat below parallel 3 times a week. Lift something heavy 3 times a week at a minimum, right? I had a couple more. I can't think of them right now. We did some, I don't think it was back squats, but it was something very similar. Maybe a lot of squats in that Cindy we did. And one of the guys says, how about don't crap yourself when you're doing squats? I'm like, well, that's a good one too. So definitely don't do that. Anyway, you can make it fun. I think if you inject fun and livelihood, then it becomes something that at least is appetizing for you to show up. So I always say there's 3 F's to coaching. It's fun, fitness, and coaching. Even in my statement, there's some fun, right? If you're not going to have, well, let me do it the other way. If you have fun and you smile and you meet people and you give some high fives, you're probably going to come back because it was enjoyable. People like to do things that are enjoyable. Nobody likes to stay miserable. So it was enjoyable. If you come back, I know you're going to get some fitness on you. I haven't said this in a while, so I'm going to put it out here right now, right again. Here's the promise. You sign up for our gym. You come 4 days a week. You listen to the coach, and you can half-ass the workouts. If you're not fitter a year from now, then I'll double your money back. I'd give you 10 times your money back. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. I'm going to win. There's no way we can do what we do and you not be fitter. Now, admittedly, if you half-assed it, you're not going to get as much results as if you actually tried. But the point is, you could even half-ass this stuff and you're going to get fit. Getting you to stand up from the ground, getting you to do a squat, the proper range, getting you to lift something heavy, getting you to run, all of that, if you're not doing it, I mean, everybody knows, duh, it's going to move the needle tremendously. Show up. Get into the gym. It doesn't have to be hard. So anyway, fun, fitness, and coaching. We want you to move well. Coaching, there was a whole episode on that. Coaching involves a couple things. One is, hey, it's a group management. I got to get you through the class. Sometimes I adjust the workout as we go when I do class to class to class because I realized my time frame was a little bit off. Or that stretch that I did didn't quite hit what I wanted. Or maybe I didn't do the workout the other day and I don't have or actually, here's a good one. I did not do the heavy lunges. It was run and lunges. And some of you guys, even today, are like, my butt still hurts from all the lunges. Like, yeah, because you went really heavy. So I did lighter lunges and it didn't hurt nearly as bad. So that was rule number 2. I knew that, but that's 17 years of doing this. I know where my limits are. Even on like Cindy, I came in, so I had just done an adventure race with Evie, which I love that. So here's another good one. If your kid ever wants to spend time with you, right? Maybe that's rule number 3. Spend time with the people that want to spend time with you. Anyway, we went out, did an adventure race. It was a 12-hour race. We cut it short to 8 hours because we had to get back to for a graduation thing for Levi. Not graduation, but just an event. And so we cut the race short. But we still were out there for 8 hours. And I have some funny stories I'm going to tell you. I'll just put them in this podcast right here. It was humorous. You guys should try doing this. Randy is the only one who's come. Actually, Randy's the only one that's come race with me. I know Amanda and Shanna have actually done races, but not with me. And Brad McDonald, but he doesn't come to the gym anymore. But he still comes in or races with me. Anyway. I don't even know where I was going with that, but funny stories from the race. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Go easy. So I did this race. I came in on Monday and I'm like, I'm just going to move. So I adjusted Cindy to be 2 pull-ups, 4 push-ups, and 8 squats. And the reason was I wanted to do 2 strict pull-ups. So I thought I could maintain 2 forever, and I was right. I did. I should have stretched out my shoulders some because my shoulders hurt a lot. Forgot about that. And then I did 4 push-ups because 3 is my normal. If I do 3 and break, even right from the beginning, I can do 3 forever. And so I thought, I wonder if I can do 4. And I was able to. So knowing your body and being part of pushing yourself and just doing is going to give you an understanding of yourself, like the 800 meter repeats. The first one, you're like, oh, I'm going to go out there, and you went probably too hard. The second one, you're like, okay, no better. Don't go out so fast, and I'll actually speed up because I didn't slow down, right? And by the third one, you're like, I hit my stride. Pretty much everybody's third run was probably their best run. Okay, so, all right. That's healthy mindset around fitness and how you can gain that. Biggest is have some fun with it. Show up. Find some accountability, get some coaching and mentoring. Oh, I wanted to show you that if you're watching the video of this, so you don't have to, well, let me first start with CrossFit because that's my thing. So in CrossFit, you can go to, what is this, map.crossfit or CrossFit, I think it's map.crossfit.com, and you can scroll in. And right now I'm scrolling in on Georgia in the Woodstock area, and you can just see the number of gyms that are around. You can find a gym. My buddy Cam said, Andy, I just dropped my mom off at the old folks home and saw people there. I never want to be like that. What do I do? I said, dude, just find a CrossFit gym and show up. They will do all the work for you. And I think it's a year and a half now that he's been doing this. I need to go ask him, have another podcast with him. But and he's healthier for it. He even said, I am never going to change the way I eat. To the other day, he's like, I probably need to start changing the way I eat. So it has rubbed off on him, right? Anyway, if you're looking at this map, I'm scrolling in. I mean, the number of black dots, the number of CrossFit gyms is amazing. They're everywhere, right? If you don't want to do CrossFit and you're a dude, you can, well, everything else out there is made for the ladies. Ladies, just put in ladies fitness and you're going to find tons of places that are just for you. Guys, there really isn't anything called men's fitness usually, but there is a very cool one that I haven't done, but I think I'm going to go against my own advice and I'm going to be, whatever, let me just do this thing. So it's called F3. So if you go to f3nation.com, you can look at their map and then zoom in and you can find other men doing workouts. Usually the problem for me is that they do their workouts at 5 a.m. And man, for as much of an old dude as I am, and I get up at 6 a.m. every day, I do not like getting up at 5 a.m. I don't know why. It's just not in my wheelhouse yet. Maybe as I get older, I'll go to bed at 8 p.m. and I'll be able to get up at 5 a.m. Anyway, you could scroll in and find guys doing cool stuff. And let's see. So they've got, it's color coordinated Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. And then I think the flags also mean something else. So let me find one that is close-ish to me. I think there was one at that park. Is this the park? Hold on, let me pause you guys and find the right one. Okay, I found the one close to me. It's Sequoia Park, and they actually do have their own F3 site. So if you're in my area, it's f3cherokee.com. But you can go to F3 Nation, and then it'll drill down. You can find whatever area you're in. But yeah, so it's at 5:30 a.m., and man, that is just not my jam. Let's see what else I've got around me. There's 2 right there. Man, where is that? It's in somebody's neighborhood? Is that a church? What is that? So they've got the Paragon. Okay, everybody's got a name. Okay, fascinating. I don't know much about this. I was going to see if there's a website. Okay, it's still the same one. So this is 5:30, some sort of boot camp at the high school. And then there's another 5:30. And what is it? What do they call it? How do I know? It's still boot camp. Oh, I see. It was days, wasn't it? Because there's green is Tuesday and yellow is Thursday. So, all right. I see that. Makes some sense. So this yellow is a Thursday. All right. I'm going to commit to showing up to yellow on Thursday at Sequoia Park. Oh, geez. I can't believe I'm going to do this at 5:30, which means I need to leave the house by like 5:15 to make this work. And that's going to be really tough for me. I am not that awesome as a morning guy, but I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to find other people out there and say, hey, you're not alone. And of course, they're not alone. They're doing F3. But guys, this is something you could do. Ladies, this one's not for you. It's the one thing out there in the world that isn't for you. Not that I'm against you're having your own stuff, but there's like for ladies everything, and you just Google that and like billions of things pop up. I'm pretty sure this is the only one that is just like for men. But okay, so let me pull up this. So if you're watching on the podcast or listening on the podcast, I'll just talk to you about it. But if you're following along in the on YouTube, so we're at Warrior Adventure Racing. So it used to be AR Georgia or Adventure Racing Georgia, and they do a bunch of races that basically it's a triathlon, but for rednecks. So you get a topo map, use a compass, and then you're going to mountain bike, canoe, and jog to different checkpoints in the woods. So they have an adventure racing schedule. We just did this one right here, is the Blue Ridge Adventure Race. I wonder actually if they have the results up. Let's see, how would I find that? Trails, more. Let's see, race results. Let's see what we did. The epic. Now, so Evie and I did the epic one. Let me open up that and we'll see. So, again, finding solutions, right? So Evie and I were doing a race. So she's like, Dad, I do enjoy being out there with you. It is kind of fun and it's interesting, and I like doing the map, and that you don't yell at me. and we get to pee in the woods. It's great, right? She said, but the bike is killing me. So we got her an electric bike, which disqualifies us from winning anything, but who cares, right? So our team name is Woodstock, and you can see, well, some of you can see right here, we came in, I don't know what that is. We finished the race in 6 hours, or 5, oh yeah, is that right? 5 hours and 59 minutes? I guess it was that's not right, because it was like an 8-hour race. Huh, everyone's under that time domain. So there must be some, anyway, I don't know why that time's there, but we finished with like a minute to spare, so it was great. And she was the youngest. Oh, there it is, 8th overall. So we got 8th overall. We're not able to win prizes because we have an electric bike, but 8th overall is not bad. And we had fun out there. I could really care less about the actual ranking. So this last race we did was the Blue Ridge Adventure Race. And we had to get back in time for Levi's graduation, so we had to cut it short. So I knew my wife was like, dude, you're going to mess this up, and I'd be so pissed. We didn't mess up. We made it back in time. So spoiler, everything worked out great. But it's a 12-hour race. We knew we had to cut it down. So I run up a hill to get a checkpoint to start the race so it spreads us all out. She's waiting at the canoe. I come down. She's like, hey, you got down pretty fast. I said, well, I just ran straight down the hill. It's kind of easy when you just fall on your face all the way down. We go to get in the canoe, it starts to rain. It's like, hey, Evie, this is going to be different than anything we've done. It's actually a river, the Tukoa River. I said, but it's only 2 feet deep, so you're going to be okay. Don't worry about if we tip. She's like, we're going to tip? I said, we may tip. So I was a little nervous because she was a little nervous. I was like, we got this though, right? So we start canoeing. We go through our first set of rapids, and I told her, if you see a rock or water like really jetting up, I need to avoid that, so you let me know. So we go over the first rapid. She's only like 100 pounds, so she flies right over this rock. I get to it, and I'm like, we make it over. We had enough momentum, and we were light enough. The guys behind us had 3 dudes in a canoe. They followed us, and they got stuck and swamped. So kind of funny, but I mean, sort of not really, but everyone's safe. You can just stand up in the river. It's really shallow. So we kept going. I yell up to her. I'm like, hey, Evie, are you okay? Was that all right? Did you enjoy that? How'd that go? Like a little nervous because this is the first rapid she's ever really been down in a canoe, which is not very stable or like, I mean, it's safe-ish, right? She turns around and unladylike, she said, that was blanking awesome. And I'm like, okay, well, it gets better from here then, I guess. So we went through more rapids. She loved it. We actually got to this one house where I guess it used to be an old, water mill where, you know, the water came through, hit the little wheel and spun something and whatever. Anyway, they converted it into a pretty sweet house. We get to this house. We're like, damn, that is awesome. Let us just look at this, forgetting the fact we're on a river that's pushing us. And she looks up and says, hey, rock. I'm like, uh-oh. It's not a rock. It's Stone Mountain in the water. It's massive boulder. And so we're coming up pretty slow on it, but we're turning sideways. And she's like, it'll be all right. I'm like, actually, no, because when we hit it sideways, the water is going to keep coming, and it's going to like want to tip us and twist us over. So, we hit it. We tip sideways. She does the right thing, leans correctly. I, having been here and done this before, and her being light enough, just grabbed the sides of the canoe and twisted my butt. And it was enough for the front to catch the water and us to keep going. And she's like, oh, that was fun. I'm like, fun? we almost dumped into the water. So anyway, it gets more interesting, right? So we're going down the river. We get to the first checkpoint area, and so what they've done is you're on the river, you stop, get out of the canoe, you go get 5 checkpoints, you go back down the river, stop, get out, get 5 more checkpoints. Go down the river some more, stop, get your bikes, and then you bike the rest of the journey, basically. So we got to the first one, and there's maybe 10 canoes that are out. And this canoe takeout spot's not very good. Everybody's just jamming their canoe in the first available spot, which makes the last spots super hard to get to because they climb over all these canoes. So very bad setup there. But anyway, this is how races go. We're loaded with water because it's raining and we've got some splash in there. So we get the canoe out, we tip it. I have to have a guy who pulls up. I said, hey, Evie can't lift the canoe up and over this 3-foot lip, and I can't lift it by myself. Can you help me? And he's like, yeah, sure. So love adventure racers because they're super helpful. We get out. We look at the map. She's looking. She's like, hey, the first checkpoint's probably right over there. Let's walk over there and see it. Sure enough, we got right to where it was. We punch it. It's raining on us pretty aggressively. The mountain, I mean, it's in the woods because it's a mountain. And so it's damp, it's wet, it's the muddy, or it's slippery and muddy. And she said, hey, I don't know if I want to go and get the rest of these checkpoints here because they said there's a bunch at the end that are closer together. I think this is just going to waste some of our time, especially with it being so gross. And this is a great part about the adventure race. You could turn the adventure into whatever you want. And so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go back. So we're heading back to the canoe, and these guys are coming out of the canoe, and they're just getting there, and we're now leaving, and they asked the wrong question. So there's 5 checkpoints you could get. We got one of them. So we're coming back to the canoe, and they said, are you guys already coming back? The answer to that question is yes. What they're really asking is, did you just get all 5 checkpoints? But they didn't say that. So we passed them. We're getting in the canoe. This guy says, wait, are y'all about to go back down the river? And the answer is yes. So we misled them, not intentionally, sort of, kind of, by saying yes to their question. But I know what they were really asking is, did you just clear the course in under 10 minutes? And of course the answer is no. But we didn't let them know that. So we jump back in the canoe, and they're all like, what the heck? So we get to the next spot. There's a manned station. So we get our boat out. We bring it out of the water, and they're like, wow, you guys got here fast. The answer is yes, we did. They're like, did you stop at the other one? Yes, we did. They never asked, did we clear the course? So even the volunteers are asking the wrong questions. So they're like, dang, this old dude and this young girl, they're in first place. No, we are not in first place, but we're there first. We just don't have enough checkpoints. So we go out, climb this mountain, get to the first checkpoint. She's like, Dad, it's still a soupy mess out here. I think we do the same thing when we get to the bikes and we spend more time on the bikes. I'm like, yeah, sounds good to me. So go back down the hill. There's a checkpoint in this guy's business because it's right across the bridge and it's, nice. Hey, come in here, get a checkpoint. You can get some coffee and, whatever. I bought her a couple moon pies and we left. And we go back down. The guy finally asked, he's like, wow, that was fast. How many checkpoints did you get? And we said, yeah, we only got 2. He's like, oh, I get it. I said, yeah, we're not in first, but we're leading the pack, just not in first. So another team is coming out as we're getting back in. And I could hear them say, no way, there's no way they're that fast. They're crushing it. I thought we were moving quick. So they're all fighting with each other now about, we should have done this or done that or changed the route or this. And in reality, they're way ahead of us. They got all the checkpoints. We only have 3 checkpoints by then. Those guys already probably have like 5. And they're going to get another 5. So they're going to be ahead of us. Anyway, so we get on the river, we go down. We get to this really rough spot on the Toccoa River, but the takeout is right before that. So we get our canoes out. And Jeff, the organizer of the race, is like, man, you're here way too fast. We don't have your bikes here yet. So the volunteers are still coming to drive the trucks that have all the bikes in them. So we're like, yeah, that's okay. And Evie says, wait, so you're telling me that I have to sit here and eat all these cool snacks you guys have? He laughs. He's like, yes, I guess that's what I'm saying. So we sit down and drying off, got our, our wet stuff off. It has stopped raining by this point. Got our wet stuff off, wring it out, let it air dry. And she's eating all these random snacks. The trucks pull up. We help them get all the bikes out because ours are way in the front anyway. So we get them all out, get our bikes sorted, and we take off. So, this area, part of this area is this road called Aska Road, and we always bike this road, and it's got lots of hills to it. And if you're in a car, no big deal. If you're on a bike, holy crap. So Evie's in front of me on an e-bike, just like pedaling super easy because she's on an e-bike and I'm behind her in the easiest gear possible, just like dying. And she takes this moment to be like, Dad, tell me your thoughts about life, the universe, and everything. And of course I yell, 42! And I just keep going. And she's like, no, seriously, give me some long answers. And I'm like, I can't. So she's like having these great conversations with me and all I'm able to say is, yeah, no, and as a dad, I'm thinking, I wish I could talk to you right now. These are great like questions like, Dad, how does college work? Am I going to get in? Should I take some AP classes? Tell me about that. I mean, it was good stuff. And so to her credit and to her like sassiness and just stupid dad jokes, I hear a car behind us, so you yell, car behind, so we know there's a car back there and we can stay on the shoulder. And I'm, of course, leaning over my bike, pedaling my ass off, and I see her lean over her bike and pretend to be pedaling. I mean, she is pedaling, it's an e-bike, but it's an e-bike, so you don't have to pedal that hard. And the car goes by us and they wave, hey, good luck, and we keep going. And she yells back, hey, did you see what I did there? I'm like, yeah, I saw. You fooled them into think you were biking up this mountain. So, just hilarious, funny stuff that happened. At the very end of the race, we pull in. We did just under 8 hours, and this other team comes screaming in behind us, and they skid to a stop. Maybe like, I don't know, they're like a minute or two behind us. And he's like, yeah, we're first. And then the wife or the lady says, no, actually, Team Woodstock came in just before you. And he proceeds to just let loose with like explicitives saying how they tried to catch us the whole time. They thought they beat us. They thought they were ahead. And they were ahead. They had more checkpoints than us. So the race is done by how many checkpoints you get, then the time you have, right? And so she goes, one of my favorite jokes, after you make fun of somebody, you say, they're right behind you. And we were literally right behind us. So he stood up tall and he's like, and he just starts pushing his bike away. So good on him. They actually won. And I'm glad we motivated him, but it really wasn't that type of motivation. These races are great. You don't have to be awesome. You can come out and do it. You can cut whatever off of the race you want to. It's just a great opportunity to get out in the woods and be with friends and family or other random racers. There is another one coming up. Maybe by the time this race or this podcast comes out, it'll be too late, but it's called the Hogback Adventure Race. It's on the weekend of June 7th-ish. And then they've got some really big ones that I don't do. There's an expedition one out in Alaska. There's the Blairsville race, which we'll do. That's going to be August 24th. Actually, I guess I need to register for that one. They got a Colorado race, which I'm not cool about racing in elevation. That just hurts too much. Then the Cauldron, which is in Florida, but it's flat. So that is awesome if you're like, hey, I want to really try this out, but I don't know about these hills. Do the Cauldron. It's flat. It's nice and easy, and you can cut things off again. C2C is across Florida, and it's like a 3-day race, and it's tough. Oak Mountain will be in, usually he has it in like February, March time frame in Alabama over near Birmingham. That's a good one. It's hilly, but you can kind of cut out some of that stuff. And then, of course, we just did the Chattanooga Epic, which will come back around, I suppose, in April. And I did not really appreciate the fact that the Chattanooga mountains aren't really like, oh, these cool mountains. It's basically cliff-based mountains. And it just makes it hard when you're like biking or running to like, oh, damn, another like straight up cliff. So we'll probably do it again just because it was fun and it's close. But I will say the mountains are quite aggressive. So Randy and his wife did that one as well. And we had some fun stories to share on that. Okay, anyway, guys. If that story appeals to you, come race with us. If that story appeals to you, the fun of it, the adventure of it, that is CrossFit. That is could be this F3. These could be people that you know and meet. I got one of my best friends, Eddie Lent, from adventure racing. We got on the adventure racing dating app and we're like, yeah, I'll race with you, right? It wasn't that. It was before those apps came out. But we found each other on Find a Teammate, right? And we've been friends for a very long time, spent a lot of time in the woods with him. I've probably spent more singular time with him than any other person in the world because we've done like a 72-hour race. So I'm literally with this guy 72 hours straight, him and Jason. And anyway, it's fun stuff. Find an outlet for your fitness. It makes everything much more fun. Guys, we're here in Woodstock, Georgia, and I really want to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. If you're here, come to the gym, CrossFit Garage. We're just across the street from Black Rifle Coffee. If you're not here, I can help you find a gym. I've already helped a couple people find gyms that fit. You can sort of tell by their website what they're up to, and my eyes are a little bit more trained on that, and I'm happy to help you do that. You can find me on any of the socials. This is a podcast called CrossFit Garage, or it's on YouTube, and you can see more, picture-y things, and that's at Andy McCann 42. That's how you find me. And of course, if you need me, you can email directly, Andy at CrossFitGarage.com. Y'all take care. Have fun.